What is up, everybody? It is the Oracle at Motion here, and I'm actually going to do a full moon reading for the collective. Um, Before I want to get into that, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be going down to one release a week because at this time, doing a reading for every sign is impossible, and even doing one for every element is really difficult with everything else I have going on. But I still want to be able to provide you readings, and I can provide better quality if I'm not burnt out and not pressured. So if you get something from these, that's great. I just want to say, like these videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll do more as I can as time permits. I want to really grow with this because I'm a very good tarot reader. I just have a lot of other projects that I need to finish before I can dedicate the energy that I'd like to this. So that being said, we're going to get into today's card, which is Influence. This is kind of like the general oracle card for the day. And it says courtship, mutual attraction, genuine affection, natural magnetism, stimulation, connecting. So that's something that's going to be coming up in your life. And it doesn't necessarily mean romantic stuff. There can be that element in business and in friendships as well. But it could also really mean about bringing the right person into you, into your life. Into you. Wow, that got deep really quick. So the sigil that I made today is purity. And I figured that if it's influence, we want to have this pure influence coming into our lives. So this sigil is to help draw in purity. Just real quick to show you these little necklaces that I made. We have this wire wrapped carnelian here, which I'm really proud of. It has this very fluid presentation to it. And then we have this wire wrapped blue apatite here, which I'm also super stoked about. So we're going to get into the reading now. I'm going to shuffle this and just as I'm doing that, ask you again to like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to break 1,000 subs at least this year. You can be a part of that. Check out the podcast if you're watching the video. Listen to the podcast, or watch the video if you're listening to the podcast. And if you'd like to donate, go for it. Or if you'd like to get a reading, you can check out the links below and get a reading. I'd really, really appreciate that. So with all of that necessary stuff out of the way, we'll go to the first card, which is Illumination. And this is kind of what needs to be revealed. So the first card that comes up for that is the Knight of Stones. Stones is relative to cups. Cups is relative to water. Water is relative to emotions. So this is about really getting in touch with your emotions on a deep level, like connecting with them, moving through them, getting aware of them. And as you can see in the card, there's kind of this purple sunset infused with the red. That's kind of bringing more of the spirit into your material world. And then there's this dark blue here. Dark blue on one level is kind of third eye, processing your emotions through your intuitive standpoint. And there's also this mammalian element there in the dolphin. So dolphin, it breathes air, goes into water. So it kind of says you need to be well acquainted with your emotions, but also not drown in them. And I think that a lot of people need to get to that space. The other element of this card that really comes up is the feminine aspect of it. So feminine in Eastern tradition is about being more receptive, being more passive and capable of receiving. So this is allowing yourself to have your emotions and not kind of suppressing them. Like the masculine element of emotions normally is to react or try to correct. And that is actually problematic. The thing that you have to do in order to really, in my opinion, to develop more intuitive gifts or to have a better quality of life is processing your emotions. And ultimately, you can't hide your emotions. You got to learn to live with them in a healthier way. That's what's coming up in this full moon reading. So the next card is Release. This is something that you need to let go of. Let me pull this up here so you can see that a little bit better. And you have 20. And this is really about this earth spirit kind of busting out of the ground It's kind of saying you have to let go of your rebirth in a sense and recognize that you're in this new life, and not focus so much on the transitional point of it, but you're already in it. So there's also this eclipse going on in this card. You have to recognize that the covering of your light is over largely. You can't hold on to these same stories because you're holding yourself back at some point. You've already kind of rebirthed out of the ground. You've already made a lot of transitions, so you need to stick with what's already changed in your life and not continually hold on to your old stuff. You're holding yourself back is really what this is saying. So release your roots and allow yourself to grow forward. The transformation card is next, and you actually have the dance of death. So the transformation in this is recognizing first off that life is a dance. Alan Watts had this great speak where he kind of talked about everything is in movement and flux, and it's kind of learning where to put your feet and finding the harmony and rhythm within this whole dance of life. And that's really what this is speaking to. It's about finding your rhythm and your harmony and your comfort and your peace, but also recognizing that one phase of your whole existence, as talked about in the release, is over. There's this whole part of you that you're holding on to that's over, and you have to be ready to move forward. Like, you can't be dancing to the same rhythm of the old songs. You have to allow yourself your process and to stay in beat with what's happening now, and also find the celebration and the joy of it. There's no sense in holding on to what no longer serves you. And then finally, we have the culmination. So culmination is kind of like the end of this process, and my dog is going nuts for whatever reason. So the culmination of this is really you finding your light and holding on to it. I normally don't go that way with this card, but that's really what's coming up with it right now. Is it's about you finding your light and holding on to it, and kind of finding this transition. Like arches can be this gateway, finding this gateway to this whole new experience that you haven't been able to access yet. So really tying everything together, there's this influence that's leading you towards a deepening of relationship, and looking at the cards that could be with yourself. But I mean, part of the things with relationships too, a lot of us want to have them, but we don't know ourselves on an intimate enough level. And that's cliche in some senses, but it's also entirely true. Even for me, somebody who's done an incredible amount of self-reflection and inner work, recently coming to the conclusion that I'm simply not in a place where I am ready for that. And when I am, people will present themselves. The other element of it is letting go of stories which no longer serve you, in a sense, and recognizing you're in a different space with everything, and it's okay. You don't got to keep living that tired old thing. Dancing in this end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one, and really getting comfortable with the new rhythm of your life. And in the end, hold on to your light, be ready for the transformation, and tying the sigil in there, instill purity in this whole process. This whole process is actually purifying you. So when the right people come into your life, you can be ready. When the right circumstances come into your life, you can be ready. When the right anything comes into your life, you will be ready for it. But you got to let go, and you got to let your higher power, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, take the wheel a little bit, and quit trying to fight so much and push so hard. Have some fun in this process. And with that, I really just want to say I love, respect, and appreciate you. Again, like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Rate this podcast if you can. Do whatever you can to kind of help me out. Book a reading if you feel inclined. Donate to me via PayPal, Venmo, any of these other options that are available. Stay blessed, people. I appreciate your support. Love and light.